Hi guys, before this video starts, I just wanted to make this small video before the main video, just to explain that in the main video, when I talk about SaucerSwap, I use some examples just off the top of my head. When I'm explaining how the platform works and what they do, I say that you can swap hbar for Sol or XRP for Ethereum. I just want to be super clear because I don't want to cause confusion. The whole point of me creating this content is to help people, educate people, and help you understand how things work in the cryptographic space. So the last thing I want to do is confuse people, and the editing team thought that it was a little bit confusing because I use very specific examples, but they are just that, they're examples. So when I say you can swap Hedera for Solana or XRP for ETH, you can't actually do that. You can only, at the moment, as it currently stands on SaucerSwap, you can only swap Hedera Hashgraph based tokens with other Hedera Hashgraph network based tokens. So hbar for Galaxy, for example. I'm sure that'll come in time, but as it stands right now, if you own Solana, you can't swap that with something else on the SaucerSwap. And I'm sorry if it comes across that you can, but they were just examples that came to my head. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much. Hi, I'm Max Walker&Williams, and today we've got another YouTube video for you, and today's one is about DeFi platform SaucerSwap, built on Hedera, of course. Quickly before I get into this, thank you so much if you're one of the 9,255 people that follow me on Twitter. I really, really appreciate it, and I think if you are one of those people, you'll know already, we have such a good laugh on there, back and forth, back and forth. I reply to every single tweet that I get. If it warrants a reply, of course, if it's the end of the conversation, then I don't. But if you want to speak to me quickly, direct, Twitter's the place to do it. And I'm really, really keen to get to that magic 10,000 followers. That would be so amazing. And in return for following me, I'm going to be doing something mega for 10,000 followers. I'll be completely honest with you, as always. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do, but it'll be something better than most other people do in terms of giveaways, as usual. So thank you again to everybody that follows me at Walker&Williams. If you're not following me on Twitter, please consider it, because like I say, I want to get that magic 10,000 number, and I'll be doing something fantastic when we hit it. Okay, oh, the other thing is, I had a call off my dad, 86 years old. What the hell is this green smoke? So just for anybody, and I've had a few other people actually message me and make sure that I'm okay. So if you follow me on Twitter, sorry to bang on like an old drum, but if you follow me on Twitter, you'll get the context. We have a box, we have boxes of different colored smoke grenades for the second annual Office Olympics, a running race that we do with all the people in the office. We did one last year. You can check that video out. It's in the description in the link below. Link below in the description. Link in the description below. And so it's non-toxic, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't breathe it in all the time, but it's okay. It's in small doses, it's absolutely fine. So don't worry, and thank you very much for everyone's concern. Okay, with all that said, let's jump straight into SaucerSwap. Okay, launched 6th of August on the Hedera network. At the time of filming, the total market cap was $10.8 million. So wow, in just around about 36 hours, $10.8 million worth of cryptocurrency has been put onto the platform, which is amazing. Obviously, as platforms go, $10.8 million isn't a lot, but it's growing quicker and quicker, which is fantastic. So what is SaucerSwap and what do they do? They are a DeFi company, and DeFi just stands for decentralized finance. And the reason it's decentralized is because they use smart contracts, and of course, they're on the blockchain, or that in this case, the hash graph. And so if you want to swap fiat for, which is money, currency, pounds, USD, whatever it may be, for gold and or gold shares or shares in Tesla or whatever it may be, in the old sort of banking money world system, you would have a middleman who would hold your money, hold the Tesla stocks, and then swap them for you. Now, that's all well and good, except the man in the middle can run off. He can do something that's called forward trading, run ahead, which basically means you go to place an order, he'll buy it, put the price up, and then sell it to you. So there's a lot of tomfoolery that goes on in the old world industry, and it does away with all of that because it's controlled by no one person, and it's done by smart contracts. So when you hear, and you're going to hear this a lot more, as regardless of which platform you're on, even if you're not really into cryptocurrency, you are going to hear the term DeFi a lot more, and it just means decentralized finance. They offer three main services. So the first, they are going to offer more, by the way, but at the moment, right now, as of filming, they offer three main services. Number one is token swap. So it is exactly what it sounds like. It just allows you to swap coins or tokens. So if you've got hbar and you want some Ripple, you can use their service to swap your HBAR straight swap for like with Ripple. Obviously, not coin for coin, but money. So you put $100 worth of HBAR, you can swap it for $100 worth of XRP. HBAR to Hex, HBAR to CLXY, which is my good friend Solo Creasy, who owns Galaxy, that amazing project. Their token is on there. So if you want to buy an NFT on Galaxy, you have to have CLXY. To get CLXY, you can swap it with whichever cryptocurrency you have. In this example, HBAR. Now okay, so that's fine, Max. So it's basically a swap. Yeah, that's right. But what? Big deal. What's the big fuss about? So it solves the two barriers to people doing things, which are friction and cost. Okay, so I've put here Rolls-Royce and an 8. There's a lot of writing, so I've had to condense it down a bit. Normally I write the whole thing out. This is just for reminders for me. So I've put here Rolls-Royce and an 8-pack. So cost and friction. If I want to own a Rolls Royce, I really do, however, Rolls Royce Wraith if you're interested, or got a lot of money. But the problem is I haven't got one because of the cost. So the cost is the barrier to me having the Rolls Royce Wraith. Drop top if you're getting me one. And I want an 8-pack. But there's friction. There's no cost to getting an 8-pack as such, but I've got to eat right. I've got to go to the gym more often. I've got to do those crunches, do those sit-ups. I'm putting a lot of work, there's a lot of effort into getting that 8-pack. So I'm just going to have to make do with the incredible 6-pack that I have. And I'm not going to have the 8-pack because the friction is too much for me personally. So I don't have the 8-pack. The Rolls Royce costs too much, so I don't have the 8-pack. So there's the two things. And this is not to be underestimated. If you watched my book review on the 4, linked in the description below, you'll know that most of the big companies, relatively new, not old school companies, but new companies that have gone to $1 billion, $1 trillion valuations, like Uber, like Amazon, etc. These guys are not inventing anything new. They're just solving either friction or cost problems, or both. So let me give you an example. So Uber, they solve a friction problem, which is you've got to stand on the side of the road in London, you've got to flag down the taxi, which is a pain because one might not come along, or one comes along, it's got somebody in it, or you've got to ring a number and tell them where you're going to be, and then you've got to be there, and then you've got to hope the guy turns up and he's going to be on time. You don't know if he's on his way or not. You could wait 20 minutes and then he doesn't turn up, wasted time. And so there's a lot of friction to getting a taxi, and then when it finally turns up, you get in it, he doesn't accept card, or you've lost your card, or he accepts cash only, or whatever. So there's a lot of friction with getting a taxi. Uber solved the friction. Now, Ubers could be cheaper or more expensive. I think they're about the same price, as good as makes no difference. Probably cheaper, actually. So they solved the cost problem too, but they also solved the friction problem. You get your phone out, the app knows where you are, it knows where the local cars are, you can see the cars, they can see you, you request to be picked up, somebody confirms it, it pays in with the app. It's seamless. You get in, you can see he's on his way. He doesn't have to tell you he's on his way. You don't even communicate with the guy. They tell you what car, what reg plate, what number, the name of the guy driving the car, his ID, so on and so forth. So it's more safe, and it's safer and more secure and so on in general. And then it takes you to your destination, and it's seamless. You put things. So Uber has gone from nothing to billions because they solved the friction problem. So friction and cost. If you're looking to invent a $1 billion company, don't try reinventing the wheel. Just look at something in life that's got friction or is more expensive, and if you can remove some of that friction or make it cheaper, you've got a potential behemoth on your hands. So easy in and out of HBAR. So it means that people who aren't necessarily interested in Hedera, they've got their own project they love, their platform they love, Solana, for example, and they're on Solana, but they see an NFT creator, Galaxy, or Pixel Ghosts, or whatever it may be, Pixel Rugs, and they say, oh, I really fancy one of them. I really like that art, and I want to buy one of those. So the barrier, the friction to doing that is they have to either sell some of their Solana tokens on they have to send them from their wallet to an exchange. They have to sell them on the exchange for USDT, a stable coin, which is a scam, but that's a whole nother video, or a fiat currency. Then they have to buy HBAR, then they have to send the HBAR to a wallet that accepts HBAR, then they can buy the NFT that they want, then they send the NFT to their wallet and they've got it. That's a lot of messing about. It isn't seamless, it isn't quick, it isn't easy. SaucerSwap does away with all of that. They have Solana, for example, they put the Sol in, they get HBAR out, they buy the NFT. Simple. It removes loads of different stages in the route to getting the NFT, which is massively important for the Hedera network, for people who want to come in and come out easy peasy, quick and easy. Easy in and out of hbar. Galaxy NFT, easy, especially for newcomers, which is what I've just explained. If they're not in the Hedera ecosystem and they just want to buy or transact or do something on the network, they can easily swap for hbars. It's cheaper, so you don't have the fees over and over again of selling one currency to then get fiat, to then buy another currency, to then take that off the network. So it's far cheaper, it's far easier and more secure because it's binary. Because with a swap, it's done with smart contracts, there's no person involved. It's binary, meaning it either all happens or it doesn't happen. So either you give your soul in this example and you get your hbar, or neither happens. There isn't a way, if the smart contracts are done correctly, and we'll get to that, that you can give your sol and not get your hbar, or give your hbar and not get your sol. So it's binary, so therefore it's more secure. City without bank/financial institution. So the other reason there's such a buzz around this in the Twitter space, on the Discord and in general, is because if you imagine, and I like to imagine cryptographic projects, Hedera, Ripple, Solana, whatever it may be, Ethereum, if you think of them as cities, and then what does a city need? It needs people to live in the city and go about their business and transact, buy things, sell things, and just live their lives. So Hedera has got people, so that's great, and it's got some really good people too. But it also needs businesses. So it needs businesses selling things and buying things in the city or on the network. So it has that. And it also needs entertainment, art galleries, and the arts and culture and things. And it has that, NFTs and so on and so forth. But without a banking and financial system, the city can never really grow. And SaucerSwap, and I'm sure there'll be Unstader, that's another one, and there'll be many more serious DeFi platforms that come onto Hedera, particularly ones that see the success of this one, particularly with the fixed costs, and I'll do another video on that. But if you imagine it as a city, the city can only grow so big without some sort of financial institutions, some financial system in London, Canary Wharf. And the reason that's important is because you need investors, you need new money coming into the city. You need money you need to be able to lend, you need to be able to borrow, you need to be able to sell, you need to be able to loan, charge interest and earn money. And so it's really, really important that every city has a financial institution, and Hedera, for the first time, has a proper a liquidity pool, and I'll get to exactly what that is in a second. So Stader has single coins, but SaucerSwap allows for many different tokens, and we'll get to that too. And so it's really, really important that now this city called Hedera Hashgraph has got its first proper financial institution. It's a fantastic thing. Okay, so that's token swap explained. Loads of different tokens. You can swap back and forth. It's cheaper, it's quicker, it's more secure, and it's easier, quicker. Okay, so the second service that SaucerSwap offer is liquidity investment. To do the above, the pool needs the coin pairs, the hbar and XRP, for example. You can now lend your tokens or coins, your crypto coins, to the pool and earn interest yield on the coins you lend. Important because it helps to entice investors to buy hbar. So if obviously in order to be able to swap your hbar for your Solana, for your XRP, whatever it may be, you have to have the coins in the pool, and you need a lot of them. So the companies that start these DeFi projects, they offer the opportunity to investors to lend their coins to the pool, and in return, you get a percentage of the fees that people pay when they're swapping the coins. This is a massive, massive deal. It's almost hard to overstate how important this is. Why? Because big money is with investors. Always has been, always will be. Investors is where the money is. Institutional investors, pension funds, investors. Once this market, this industry becomes regulated, big pension funds are going to be coming in, and they're going to be looking for investment opportunities. hbar is an investment opportunity, but it's an investment opportunity at the moment, pre-SaucerSwap, with only capital appreciation. Being a property guy, I think I can explain this best by using a property analogy. So there are two ways of making money when investing in anything: comic books, classic cars, property particularly. And that is income from renting the car out, from lending the comic book, licensing or whatever it may be. But in property, it's obviously rental income. So whether it be an apartment, a house, a warehouse, you buy it, you can rent it out, earn income, and the property goes up in value most of the time, and you get capital appreciation. The problem with hbar is it's like a property that's empty. It's like an empty house that you can't rent out. So the only thing you can rely on is capital appreciation. Now there's two problems with this. The first one is that you can't spend capital appreciation in Walmart or Asda or Tesco's or wherever. You can't buy Big Boss, if you've got a Big Boss like I have, a pretty dress or a handbag or whatever it may be, because the value of HBAR goes up today 10%. I've got nothing more to spend unless I kill the golden goose and sell my HBAR. And that's the other problem. In order to access that capital appreciation in property or in HBAR or in golden geese, you have to kill the goose to get to the eggs. And you no longer own the investment or sell the house, sell the classic car, sell the comic book. Now, in the UK particularly, there's tax implications with that, which aren't great, but also you no longer have the asset. And I'm all about longevity and heritage and leaving things to my children, legacy. And if you kill the asset, you no longer can do that. Whereas with rental income, you can take the income, the goose, rather than kill the goose with the golden eggs, the goose keeps laying golden eggs. And if you waste that egg on a scam or on a night out or whatever it may be, you always got another egg to come. So I think for me personally, particularly with taking 100 to 300 year view on things, even a 20-year view on things, rental income yield is so much more important than capital appreciation. With HBAR, you only had capital appreciation. You owned HBAR because you like the ecosystem, you like the community, and you want to be invested and you believe in the project and you want to support it. And maybe one day HBAR goes to £10, $1, whatever it may be, whatever you're happy with. And when that time comes, you make a nice tidy profit, but then you sell your HBAR. You're no longer part of the community, you don't own the HBAR, it's all gone. And that's not great for investors. It's not the opportunity I would be looking for if I wasn't building on the platform with Utopian Lab and so on. But this changes everything, because now, as an institution, as a private individual, I can own HBAR, I can lend it to the liquidity pool, and I can earn interest, earn rental income that I can spend down at Tesco's buying Big Boss, a dress, whatever it may be, or I can put it back in and compound it, which is where the real magic happens. Okay, so property investment, rental income plus capital appreciation. HBAR is an empty house until now, and that's the point I was making. Capital appreciation kills the investment. Rather buy a bad property in a bad neighborhood than that rents than a house in a good one. So using the property analogy again, just purely with my investor hat on, I'm looking to make income. Am I going to buy a house in a beautiful neighborhood that's clean air and the houses are eco-friendly and they were built sustainably and they're off the grid and they're fantastic and they're easy to get to and they're wonderful, but I can only buy it and sell it. I can only rely on capital appreciation. I can never rent it out. It's an empty property. Or as an investor, do I buy the house that's a nightmare to get to? You know, the traffic is awful, the gas cost, diesel cost, petrol cost to get there, the gas fees, I hope you like what I did there, are high, and this place is called Ethereum, and I buy a house there, and okay, it might get some capital appreciation, but today I get rental income. Because on Ethereum, obviously it launched much earlier than Hedera, and so they're further down the road, and they already have these opportunities where you can stake your Ethereum, you can lend it, you can loan it, you can all sorts. So am I going to have the bad, sort of uneconomical house in the bad part of town, but I get rental income? Or am I going to buy the house that's beautiful in the best neighborhood and so on and so forth, but I can never rent it out? Well, just purely with my investor hat on, I'm probably going to go with the bad house in the bad neighborhood. That has now changed. Because of these guys, thanks to SaucerSwap, we can now rent out the eco house for good money. So it is a massive game changer. So we've got the city analogy where we now have a financial institution in the city, which is fantastic, but we've also opened up links to other cities, other platforms, other cryptographic technologies via the swap. So we've got a financial institution, we've got lines of communication with other cities, which is very important. We can earn rental income from the better houses, which is really fantastic. So the third service they offer is farming crop circles. I know this sounds a bit nuts, particularly to sort of older people, older world, sort of non-native crypto people. You know, what the hell are we talking about? This alien, the SaucerSwap. It's just sort of like a bit of a techie take on it. Farming crop circles. So the interest you are paid, not for all, but for most of the coins that you lend, the interest you are paid is in a token that's SaucerSwap's own token, and it's called Source. So farming crop circles, the interest you are paid can be put to work to earn even more interest. This is good for the platform, as it means people are more likely to leave their crypto in the pool over here. And it's good for you because you can take profit without taking out the pool. It also adds value to the project's token, giving the project itself more value. So let's say you put in your pairs, your hbar and your Solana, for example, 50-50. You put those in the pool, you are paid interest in Source. You can then put that Source to work, or the interest that you earn, you're paid in Source tokens, which you can sell and get fiat, get sterling, or you can swap for another token if you want to, and then you can keep that. So let's say, for example, you earn 10 Source coins. You can take those 10 Source coins and then you can farm them and earn more interest in more Source coins, or you can sell them and get fiat money and go and spend it in the shops, or you can take that and swap it for more hbar and take that hbar off the platform, or put that hbar back in. So it gives you loads of different options and it allows you to compound your interest. So it's earning money earning money, rather than you exchanging your time for money. Yields of 100% to 1000% are being listed at the moment. Can't be sustainable or legitimate, can they? Question. Now, particularly as a property guy, generally, if you see anything advertised with yields over 20 to 25%, my inside voice starts screaming scam. Scam, scam, scam. If I said to you, I've got an investment opportunity that produces 1,000 yield APY per year, if someone was saying that to me, I'd laugh and just call them it's a scam. Just don't even bother researching it, it's a scam, walk away. However, bear with me because I'm going to explain how we get to that figure. Yields of 100 to 1000% can't be sustainable or legit, can they? Example, okay, going to give you a real world example. Let's say to swap hbar to ETH costs 0.5%. It doesn't, it's a lot less, but I want to keep the numbers super simple so you get the point. So to swap your hbar coins for Ethereum coins, it costs you 0.5%. Okay, people seem happy with that, whatever. The pool has a total value of $100,000. So there's $100,000, $50,000 worth of hbar and $50,000 worth of Ethereum in this pool where you can go in and swap, okay? You invest $1,000 into the pool, you own 1% of the pool. So there's $100,000, you put in $1,000, you own one of $100,000, you own 1% of the pool. The pool, and this is the key, this is what makes it sustainable, it's velocity. Bear with me. The pool swaps $1 million worth of swaps a day. So in total, people go in and they swap hbar for Ethereum, they buy something, they swap it back, they don't come back, swap, 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 swap. So it's the velocity, which is how often the same money changes hands. So for example, I've given this before in the money myth. I'll put a link to in the description below to that video if you're interested in money. But velocity is, let's say I take a $1 bill and I go and buy a pack of chewing gum. That $1 bill is now with the vendor who sold me the chewing gum. He goes next door and he buys a sandwich for $1. Now he's used that the same $1 to buy something else. The person who sold him the sandwich for $1 goes and gets his shoes shined, $1. So that dollar in one day has done $5 worth of transacting. That $1 has a velocity of 5. It's been around 5 different people in one day. This pool has $100,000 in it, but the transactions total $1 million worth of transactions. So it has a velocity of 10, okay? So 1 million worth of swaps a day. 1 million times 0.005, which is 0.5%, equals $5,000 in fees. In one day, divide the $5,000 in fees by 100 because you own 1%, you get $50. You times $50 by 365 days in the year, and the annual interest that you earn is 1,825%. Now, if I came to you without that example and said, I've got an investment opportunity, you can earn up to 1,825%. You tell me to get lost, you kick me out of your house, you call me a scammer. But I hope you can see from this example, and this is particularly high because 0.5% is very high, but even at 0.25%, a quarter of 1% is the charge for the transaction. You're still going to be earning, what, 912.5%? 900%, over 900%. So you can see it's the velocity that is the key to earning these massive interests. People are happy with the little rate they're paying, but there's a lot of people doing it a day. And that's where it comes from. So I hope that example makes it super clear for you. Audited by Hacken. So Hacken is a company that audits, that gets paid to audit as like an accountants do for businesses in real life. They come in, they have a look at the software, they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and then they write reports based on what they've seen. And I've actually come across Hacken before. These guys are not shy. I have seen them rip some companies apart. I'm not going to mention names. It's a wallet that I had a dealing with, but yeah, it was a real damning report. Audited by Hacken. This is important as they are a reputable, independent third party that check under the bonnet or hood, if you're in America, to see how secure, etc. the platform is. So if you go on the SaucerSwap website, which is www.SaucerSwap.finance, that's SaucerSwap.finance. If you go on their website, down the bottom, you'll see Hacken and you'll see their logo. Click on the logo and it takes you to a brand new page. On that page are these reports. If you're not too tech savvy, some of it won't make sense, but there is a couple of pages, which is the important bit, which is kind of the summary, which is written in pretty plain English. So if you're interested in investing in SaucerSwap, I recommend, I'll put a link in the description below, both to SaucerSwap's website, but also to the reports that you can have a look at and read. You can download them, print them off, read them online, whatever you want to do. Now, they checked three main things, which is the core smart contracts, which are the contracts that are written in general, the farm, remember I talked about farming, farm smart contracts, and number three, the vesting smart contracts. Vesting is just a posh word for the right to earn money now or in the future. So basically it's like interest. So vesting is your right to earn money. If you're vesting in something, you're investing in it to earn money today or in the future. So the vesting smart contracts. And they gave the core smart contracts 9.4 out of 10. They gave the farm smart contracts 9.9 out of 10. And they gave the vesting smart contracts 9.7 out of 10. Now this is really impressive, especially when you consider that these guys are brand new, they launched a couple of days ago. Because presumably these guys are going to keep working hard and they're only going to improve from here. They're going to build on, they're going to take the advice from Hacken and they're going to improve. And hopefully if we see 6 monthly audits, annual audits, whatever, hopefully we'll see these numbers rise even. So really, really impressive. And that's a real good sort of safety blanket, sort of comfort blanket, if you like, when considering investing with SaucerSwap. The risks. Okay, like everything in life, there are risks. If somebody tells you it's risk-free, run as fast as you possibly can with anything. Rug pull. Okay, so I've got to be honest, I'm always going to be honest with you guys, I'm going to shoot straight, rug pull. The team behind the platform simply run off with everyone's money. It's happened before, it is going to happen again. I'm not saying it's going to happen with SaucerSwap by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not impossible. And if they tell you it is impossible, then they're not being genuine, because it is possible. The day after audits are done, you can change things. You can mask things. I've actually seen it, witnessed it firsthand with people very close to me who've invested in similar projects, who had the best websites, the greatest, research, the best branding, and so on and so forth. Alice in Wonderland, great example. The guys just basically gave up, run away, took all the money. Okay, so rug pull. Flash loans. So this is one where a couple of platforms have accidentally got into trouble, and that's in crypto, you can lend money off crypto. So I give you the hbar that I own, you lend me money. If I pay you back, you send me my hbar back, but then the value of hbar goes way down. The money, the loan that I've got is worth way more than the hbar. I can buy the hbar that I owe you and have surplus. So I lend you £100,000 worth of hbar today. Tomorrow, hbar collapses or halves or whatever. I can use that £100,000 to go and buy the hbar that I gave you, and I've still got 20 grand left over. Why would I repay you? Or people who just genuinely have no intention of repaying the loan in the first place. The companies lend too much money out. They have too much exposure in the market, much like the American mortgage. They were too exposed with bad loans, and the loans got recalled and no one repaid. So they went bust. So that can happen. Flash loans. These guys aren't doing loans, but they could. Hackers. So smart contracts are written by humans, or at least the rules are. So, when we say DeFi, decentralized finance, yes, it is absolutely true that the swaps and things are done with smart contracts, but a human being has to be involved at some point. Smart contracts don't just create themselves. You can't just create a DeFi platform and have absolutely no input whatsoever when setting up smart contracts. A human being sets the rules, so that when I say I want to do this, a smart contract is automatically created based on the rules that a human put in. So yes, it is decentralized. Yes, it is automatic. Yes, it is smart contracts. But there is human involvement, and there has been human error in the past. And those weaknesses in the smart contracts have been exploited by hackers who have found a way to edit the code, change the code, take advantage of the contract in some way that meant they hadn't had to repay the loan, or they've done a swap and they've got the coins and not had to give anything, or they've given a smaller amount and received a bigger amount. And they've done that over and over again and stolen a lot of cryptocurrency off the platform. Platform can't make good the loans, goes bust. So this isn't theory, this has happened before, it could happen again. So Source goes down in value more than the interest you were paid. So for some reason, the Source coins, remember, that you're getting paid in, let's say, for example, this settles down a bit, more people come into it, which brings the yield down from 800% to 60%, which is still absolutely fantastic. But the Source you're being paid in, which is the currency you've accepted as the interest you're being paid, you've earned 60% interest, but the Source has lost 80% of its value. You're actually worse off than when you started. So that can happen and just be a sort of a curveball that can happen to people and has happened to other platforms. The tokens you sold to enter the pool, Moon. So when you're entering a liquidity pool, you have to give equal parts of 2 tokens. And you can choose which 2 tokens. If you go on their website and you choose Liquidity Pool, it gives you a list of the different tokens, the 2 different tokens that you can put in, and the different yields, the different rent that you can receive for putting them in. No lockup period, by the way, so you can withdraw immediately, which is a really, really massive plus, fantastic. Much like Hedera with the native staking that's coming soon, there are loads of platforms that say, you give us your HBAR, but you can't have it back for 6 months, no matter what, which is obviously not great. With these guys, instant, which is fantastic. So if you remember, what was the point I was on? Okay, so, oh yeah, Moon. Right, so in order to put in the pool, you can't just put HBAR in. You have to choose 2 tokens, which means one of 2 things. If you decide you want to put in $100 of HBAR and $100 of Solana or Ripple, XRP, whatever it may be, it's irrelevant. You either, if you only own HBAR, if you're a HBAR-barian and you only own HBAR, you have to buy this other token in order to enter the pool, or you have to swap some of your HBAR for an equal amount of this coin. And if you do it that way, it means that you've lost some of your HBAR. So let's say, for example, you've got $50,000 worth of HBAR and you want to stake it and earn some big money. In order to do that, you've either got to put another $50,000 in of another crypto in order to have your 50,000 HBAR and your 50,000 XRP, or you've got to swap half of your HBAR, $25,000 worth of your HBAR for Solana. Now, you've just lost half of your HBAR. What if HBAR goes to £1 tomorrow? Let's say, for example, this has happened before as well. Cryptos have gone from 38 pence to £1.20, literally overnight. It's quadrupled overnight, and it could happen. And it could be something, the next governing council member. It's been a long time since we've had a governing council member. What do you think happens to the price of HBAR if it's Apple? If Steve Jobs, turns out the whole thing's been a prank, him and Lehman have been planning the whole thing, Steve Jobs runs out on stage at this big announcement, with Jeff Bezos on his back, and Elon Musk runs out from the other side of the stage with Lehman on his back, and the 4 of them stand up on the stage and they say, guess what? Hedera Hashgraph, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, boom, boom, boom. We're all now on the governing council. Well, HBAR, I cannot see a world where HBAR doesn't go from the 6 cent it is today to £1.50. Well, if it goes to £1.50, that's like a 20 or 30x on that day, on that announcement. Now, of course, I'm being silly to overemphasize the point, but what if the next governing council is Apple and Hedera goes from 6 cent just to where it has been before its all-time high of 50 cent? That's an 8x? So earning 100, 200, 300, 1,000% per year is fantastic. But HBAR has gone from 5 cent to about 38 cent in 11 days. And you just sold half of your HBAR to get Sol, which, by the way, is just halved in price because it's crashed again. So that is a risk, and you've got to sort of take this into consideration when you're putting your HBAR to work, that you've either got to double down on how much HBAR you have or you want to put to work, or you've got to liquidate half your HBAR holding. Or if you're not a HBAR bearer and you're watching this, and your XRP guy, you've got to liquidate half of your XRP or buy the same. So it's not all plain sailing. There is some sort of thoughts to have. I hope you found this really informative. By the way, DeFi, decentralized finance, is so important, I think, as an investor. It laps two worlds I love. It laps cryptocurrency and investment, two of the things I absolutely adore. So I'm going to do a series on DeFi. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified when the next videos I'm going to be doing specifically explaining in an easy way, I think easy, I hope easy way to understand what exactly is a liquidity pool. And we're going to get really into the nitty-gritty of it. What is farming? And we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it. How do I leverage my money? How do I loan hbar? How do I lend against my XRP? I'm going to be explaining all of that and the risks. And I'm also going to be showing you guys the exact investments I make. So I am going to have a go at some of the investments on SaucerSwap. I'm going to actually do it on screen. I'm going to screen record it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you guys. And then you can copy the exact trades that I'm doing if you want to. And if you're not interested whatsoever, you can just watch from the sidelines and I'll track the whole thing. As I cash out, if I make money, if I lose money, you guys can come on the whole journey with me completely free of charge at my risk. I hope you found this informative. As always, again, please, let's get to 10,000. I'll do a fantastic giveaway. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you soon.